Hendo,
What's going on?
10% of our episodes have not been recorded.
You need to give me permission to record.
That's why I'm sort of late, because I was trying to figure it out. I put your normal email into it, and it said you're not a paid user or something, so it wouldn't let me do it.
Oh, try the info at
Rockstar?
Yeah. Because I'm a bit weird like that.
No, I'm the same. I've got 50,000 emails. I'm never quite sure which one it is. So can I do it while you're on the call, or let me?
I suppose.
No, it's so I can make you a host.
Yeah.
But then that kicks me off from being a host, right?
Yeah.
But I want to record. I want us both to record.
Well, we're just gonna have to fucking wing it.
This whole episode is going to be exactly the same as last episode.
Yeah.
It's going to be us talking about how to fucking record shit.
What's going on, Perko?
Oh, yeah, just fiddling around. I had some buggy camera issues, so we're good now, I think.
You're looking good, mate.
Am I? I think it might be the filter. No. Yeah, no, feeling all right. Feeling all right now after a few nights of decent sleep. I think last week was a bit crazy around where I live, but other than that, no.
You're in one of the suburbs pretty badly hit by the floods, yeah?
Yeah, like yourself, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
The suburb itself is still pretty, it's still pretty rough to walk around and see all the debris and all the rest of it. But fortunately, where I am, I avoided the kind of the worst of it. And yeah, so I'm sort of sitting pretty where I am, but it's still very evident when you walk outside just how bad it is around. So
it's hard to see, you know, it's hard to sort of fathom, you know, because when I bought this place, I knew it was, you know, my suburb was not a particularly, well, it was flood prone suburb and that sort of thing. And so when I was doing my research, I look at the flood map and made sure it was out of that and that sort of thing. Didn't expect it to happen like within like the first 2 months of being here.
Yeah.
And then it just floods, and the bottom of the street flooded really bad. There's like a strip mall at the bottom of the street that flooded, and a supermarket that flooded, and you know, it was just phenomenal. Just how bad it got so quickly, you know. Lost power for 4 days. That's why we kind of fucked up the last show, because it was like I lost power on the Sunday morning. It didn't come back on until the Wednesday afternoon. And Danny, you know, dropped a message, says, "You want to do the show?" I said, "Yeah, power's back on." I didn't have internet. But that was a shit show in itself. So.
That was a shit show. We owe the fans an apology, but
look, absolutely.
But before we do that, can I make sure you're recording this? Because I'm fucking stressed out. This is not going to work.
What am I going to record it with?
With your phone. I put it in the thing. Put your phone on airplane, and then do a voice memo on your phone.
Dude, I'm an Android. We keep talking about this.
Yeah, but you can record shit on Android.
I don't know how.
You got an app that records something, don't you?
Yeah, but I've got my speaker in my earphones. It's not going to record like you guys. It'll record me.
Exactly. So
is that worst case,
yes. So worst case, we lose the main recording. I get the 3 recordings and I put them together and form a cohesive recording.
You can do that?
Yeah, 100%. It'll be it's a backup.
Okay, I am recording. It's making sounds and not making sounds, but it's recording.
That's what we want. And then at the end, if my recording's fine, you can just delete it.
Rightio.
Can you do that too, Perko, or is it too hard?
Yeah, so are you just using voice memo? The only problem with me is the sound coming through is just coming through my headphones, so it's not.
That's fine.
I'm doing the same thing.
It'll pick up your voice, and then I'll pick your voice and Hendo's and mine.
Yeah, I see.
File.
Dan's going to do some funky stuff if it doesn't work out. Computers.
Okay, I'll see what. Okay, I'll
But
it's 99%
chance we won't need it.
Yeah, right.
Because I am recording. So let's explain what happened last time. Actually, first of all, have you got a beer? Do you want to?
I've got a beer. I've got a beer. I've
for
got
fuck's sake, Hendo. You know we've got. Oh yes, that's it. Good. Okay. Sorry, I didn't think that was it. Sorry.
What did you think it was?
No, I thought it was something else, and I was hoping
It's
you brought the sponsors.
It's the
beer.
Blaster Weizen.
Good.
And I would like to say that this is the first time that I drank this beer. But when the power went out last week and the beer was warming up, and things really went to pot last Monday on the Monday of the floods, I decided, fuck it, I'm going to drink it. I just went day drinking on Monday.
You drank all of them?
No, I've left some and that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Look at that clean glass. That's the
Ooh,
clean.
That's impressive.
That's the clean, Adzi clean. It's Adzi clean Helios glass.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Can I just, I've got. What have you got?
Okay. So I've got the Qld Beer Rainbow Sherbet Sour.
Nice.
Right.
So this one's brewed with raspberry puree, lemon zest. So it's just a kettle sour, but actually quite nice and thick, like nice and juicy. They do a really good job of it. It tastes like sort of fruit tingles or fruit straps. So it's kind of nostalgic sort of. So, like I suppose it falls a little bit into that gimmick beer category. But the thing is, the raspberry puree and the lemon zest that they've sort of infused in it doesn't taste too fake. Like it's actually got quite a fresh flavor to it. So I'm digging it at the moment. But I just wanted to say, before I forget, since I'm drinking it out of the Carwyn Valley glass, a shout out and happy birthday to Lukey. It's his birthday.
Oh, yes. It's Lukey's birthday today.
Yeah. So we have to acknowledge the legend himself.
Yeah, indeed.
I assume he's sitting back having a couple of nice beers right now. Actually, I know
he is.
Yeah.
That's what he does on his birthday. So
that's what everyone should do on their birthday. So that was juicy, Hendo.
It's pretty good. It's I can understand why it won a gold medal. It's a very, very good beer. It's lots of aroma of I'm trying to find the right banana. It's not banana chips. It's not banana lollies. It's kind of like, do you ever have it? Like Red Rooster used to do like banana fritters.
Fritter, yeah. They used to do the Hawaiian pack, and you'd get the pineapple fritter, the
pineapple
banana
and the banana fritter.
Yeah,
Why do they fucking do those anymore?
I don't know. It's there's nostalgia for you. That's actually a good idea for a beer, actually.
And it's really good because there's a bit of banana going on. It's quite. They're not supposed. It's got a little bit of zing to it, but it's not sour or anything like that. It just gives it a bit of complexity. And
so I kind of missed you held up the can, but I couldn't see what the type of beer it was.
Hefeweizen.
It's a Hefeweizen.
It's a Hefeweizen. No wonder you're tasting bananas. It's because it's brewed with banana.
Well, no.
Yes, it is. They load it with fresh banana. That's how they get that flavour.
Rightio then, Perko.
Come on, everyone knows
it's pretty good. Little bit of white pepper spice at the end. It's a very good, lovely beer. Please,
good.
More.
Nice. And I've got the same beer. Oh, we didn't mention they're a sponsor too.
Blaster Brewing Company.
This is a paid. Well, it's not paid. It's kind of
paid beer.
It's a paid endorsement. But
yeah,
I'm with you. I had it last week, and I did my nice little review. We recorded it. No one will ever fucking know, but I loved it. It's a delicious beer.
It's a great beer.
I should say
that
this is sponsored and the hat's sponsored too, thanks to Loophole Brewing in South Australia. So we'll just, see if we can start tagging these breweries, and then you guys can start.
What's it like in the day in the life of Perko? Did people just send you fucking beer like every day and merch?
No, not really. Like,
is there a Facebook group that's called "Did Perko Pay for This Beer"?
Someone did that. I think it was someone like your Brian Penley, one of those kind of people. But yeah, there is a bit of a running joke. But I usually, if I'm buying beer, I'm usually buying lambics or a case of Pilsner. You know what I mean? So with these sorts of beers, like your rainbow sours and your sort of wacky hazies and those sorts of things, it's usually if I do get sent that to try. So it kind of keeps me trying interesting stuff, but at the same time, I tend to flock back to the classics when when I'm actually buying a beer to drink.
Yeah, of course.
You know, but yeah. I don't know what a day in the life of it's like. I suppose there's different sort of periods, I suppose. Like sometimes I'll get like 3-4 packages of just things to try, and I might not see something for 2 weeks. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And I try not to overplay that thing anyway, because sometimes I just literally do not have time, or you get disasters like floods or pandemics, and then I just don't get time to sort of review beers or like, you know, do the sponsorship shout out. Sometimes it's just like, oh, well,
thanks
I'm
for the
sorry.
beer.
And occasionally you do get breweries that sort of maybe get the shits with that and they stop sending us stuff, and that's fine. I don't really mind if a brewery doesn't send me something. I just take it like, oh, if they send it to me again and I've got time, I'll take a photo. And it's sort of luck of the draw, how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking of the beer, if I've got time to set up some, you know, some studio lights or just take some natural shots or whatever. So it's
what's the have you ever been sent any beer from like either a big mega brewery or something like that that's just been, you know, a bit cringy or something like that?
Oh, that's a good question. And I'm sure I have.
Like maybe Mazen.
Mazen's a sponsor, a one-time sponsor of the show.
Still allowed to give him shit.
Send us a bills.
I was drinking some pints of cheap beer at the Gem Hotel. The Gem Pub. It's in Yatala, and it was from Last Man Standing, which is Stephen Bradbury's brewery.
Oh yeah.
I met those guys.
And I love the kind of like play on like Last Man Standing. It's got a turtle on the can, and it's, you know, it's all about like, you know, you will win if you just persist kind of thing, and that's their whole ethos. But I was drinking some pints of that. I posted about it, and one of the guys dropped me some beers and some stubby coolers and stuff like that. So I guess that's a funny one. But you know, I've never been sent like, you know, a case of Forex or something. It's never happened. So, you know, it's still.
What about Crown Reserve?
Crown lagers. I'd love to get sent some Crown Ambassadors.
Have you ever had the Crown Reserve, the one they do in the barrel?
No.
I haven't done it in at least 10 years now.
Once a year they would do. What sort of beer is it? Still the Crown Lager?
It's basically a strong version of Crown
Lager.
Yeah.
So
comes in
the
a
Ambassador. The Ambassador.
Ambassador. Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
So yeah, I'd love to get sent one of those. Like just for shits and giggles, like it would just be such a novelty.
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember. I think the last one the last one like that. I don't think they've done it in a few years. The old Crown Ambassador, and I think the last one they did, I think the barrels went a bit funky, and the beer went all bretty and that sort of thing, and they were like, "No, we're going to pull it off the market." And all the beer geeks go, "This is fucking great," and they've never done it since. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never tried it, but I've always found it to be a funny sort of place in the beer world, because, you know, sort of crownies have always been that, like, you know, it's a day of golf, and I don't like. I like about 3 different types of beers. Oh, a crownie, you know, like
special occasion beer.
Oh, really? Like Gold Label. It's kind of the classic sort of prestige beer that is really just the same as, you know, the same as like any lager that's macro.
You're at the golf or the races or something like that, and you might be dressed in a suit.
And
maybe, you know, and that sort of thing. And then you go, I'm having a Crown.
Get on the Crown.
Going downhill.
Yeah.
I haven't had one of those for a very long time. I may not have had one as an adult.
Don't see it as much anymore.
No. Now, Hendo, we need to get this apology out of the way.
Absolutely. So sincere apologies to all 12 of you for last week's episode. That was a bit of a shit post, but probably wasn't in the best taste, because it was just, last week was just such a fuck up with floods and no internet and all that sort of stuff. And the episode was basically 10 minutes of us troubleshooting Zoom issues. And then I decided I was going to jump off the call and then jump back on, and then Dan forgot to hit the record button, and that was It was a great chat. We might recover.
It was.
We might do some. We'll redo some of those things tonight because there were some great topics that we went through, and so. But anyway, to all you guys, sincerely apologise for that. At the time, it was just such a crazy week, and next morning, Dan sent me a message and said, "Fuck, I didn't record the episode," and I went, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I forgot to hit record when we jumped back on the call," and I went, "Just fucking send it."
I didn't want to tell you. I was so, because it was late too. Like, we'd had a couple of beers. The episode went for about 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
And it took us about 15 minutes to get going. And we talked about everything. It was a really good one. And as soon as I realized at the end that I hadn't recorded, I was just fucking mortified. I was so pissed off. And then you were just like, send it. And I was like, fuck, I'm just going to not say anything. And I realized we just wasted everyone's time, and it probably wasn't all that funny for anybody.
Look, it was a weird week last week. Weird week. And I hope the video that Matty Cuthbert posted in the Facebook group made up for that, because that was hilarious. That was my Thursday.
Hendo, yeah, I had a weird week too, as you know, and it's funny because basically, for anyone listening, how it kind of went was there was a communication that I started by saying I didn't have power, I think, and then Hendo, you said, I don't have power. What are we going to do, type thing. And then miraculously, your power came back on right in time. And I was actually driving up from the coast, and I also got a message from my neighbor saying, power's back on. Woohoo. And so I'm driving back and I'm thinking, oh, you beauty, power's back on. I'm going to get in on this episode. I got home and my power wasn't on. The entire street was, and it stopped at me. Because I'm on a corner block, so I'm on the main road's power and they're on the side road's power. So I got back and that was one of about 1,000 weird things that happened last week. So I was pretty frustrated because I kind of wanted to be a part of that episode anyway, because it just felt like there was so much turmoil and so many things going on.
It was a wacky week. It was just so weird. Like, I judged at the Royal Queensland Food and Wine Show Beer Awards, and on Sunday I was supposed to be interviewing for the best new emerging brewer, and I got a call saying, "Oh, we're going to switch it to Zoom," and I went, "I got no power, I can't be involved in this." And then got a call later in the day going, "Oh no, we're not going to be able to do the judging tomorrow. The Bruce Highway's cut and all the judges can't show up. We're going to postpone it 24 hours." And that was mind-blowing that they postponed that awards by 24 hours. 500 odd beers, 60 judges, a whole bunch of stewards, all that sort of stuff, and they managed to pull it off 24 hours later when they weren't supposed to be there. And I couldn't even get to the judging on the Monday because I went to get a taxi, but because the place was flooded, no taxis were coming in. And on the Tuesday, and so I rang Steph from the RNA. I said, I can't get in. She goes, "It's a problem." I said, "Oh, I can drive in. You just got to give me somewhere to park my car." She goes, "Why don't you drive in and you can stay in the hotel?" And because a couple of judges from Northern Rivers can't show up, I went, "That's perfect." So I just went and stayed in the hotel that night, had a few beers with the judges afterwards, and went and taught brewing the next day, and it was crazy stuff. And then Thursday with the awards ceremony thing, which was a lot of fun, pretty boozy, and then and it was just so much turmoil. It's just the dust is just starting to settle now. It's crazy.
It was a crazy week, yeah. So should we do have some loose topics? Should we talk about the awards?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the awards, Dan?
Well, it was good to go. It was good to go there. We brought a whole crew along. It was great to get up on stage and
it's good to
accept
see
our award with the whole team.
How long did you have that trophy for?
I've still got the trophy because I haven't been able to get in touch with Steve. I keep ringing him, and he keeps missing my calls, and I keep missing his calls.
All right.
We called each other, must have been 4 or 5 times on Friday. This is Steve from Stomping Ground.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to talk. So I forgot today. I've got so much fucking on at the moment. It's not, hasn't been the top of my priorities, but
Yeah.
I think the trophy's sitting
Oh,
there.
so you're
at
going to
work.
send it. You're just going to
I
send it.
assume I've got to
direct.
send it back, send it to him or send it back. I actually don't know what to do with it.
Oh, just send it straight to Stephen Guy and JJ, you know.
But it's got Black Hops written on it.
That's
Their
a shit
problem.
post, mate.
Yeah,
So
so
what are you gonna
anyway.
do there? Just put it.
just get a fucking post-it note. Right, just write Stompo on it or something and
Yeah.
just send it to him. It's just a good laugh, you know.
Yeah.
With these things, you know, you just got to sort of take it lightly if you can. I mean, I can say that from someone that didn't just win and get something stripped away from me. But I suppose what else can you do? You know.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it
was-
is only a kind of a little trophy at the end of the day, but it was that one. We'd won a champion brewer trophy at the Queensland Awards 2 out of the last 3 years, or 2 out of the last 3 years it's been on. This would have been 3 out of 4, which would have been pretty phenomenal to be able to do. So it was, when we won it, it was like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. And then when we unwon it, it was not as cool, but it's fine. The one we won for mixed beer was super cool because that one was his staff
Absolutely.
beer. And
Yes.
and you know, this is a brewery that we'd acquired and he'd come on board.
Yes.
So he's obviously, you know, he's been doing it for so much longer than a year, but it's like it's technically a 1-year staff celebration beer.
Yeah.
And he's won a bloody trophy for it at the Queensland Beer Awards. It's just,
It was great to
so
see.
cool.
I was so stoked for Mick. That was
yeah,
really,
he was
really
stoked.
good. I literally, as we were walking into the award ceremony thing, I was having a chat to Sabrina Kunz, and she's the current president of the New Zealand Brewers Guild, and she was sort of involved in the review that the IBA did about the indies and all that sort of thing, and the miscounting there, and lo and behold, the same thing happened. And I really feel sorry for Steph Yoon, who just did an amazing effort to pull off that competition, that week, and then it was just some bug in a spreadsheet that miscounted. And
so
there hasn't been any. There's been no one's mentioned it at all, have they? Like the Crafty Pine haven't even updated their article. It still has Black Ops as the.
Is this what happened though? Because I'm probably one of many people, I imagine a lot of people listening, don't quite know where the error lied in terms of the miscalculating.
No, we weren't told anything.
So just to be very clear, none of us still quite know what happened in terms of the error.
Do you know, Hendo?
I think it's just a spreadsheet error, really.
I think when you think about it, like Stomping Ground won something like 3 trophies, and they won like champion beer or something, didn't they? So it kind of makes sense that they would win the big brewery.
That's right.
Overall trophy, but I guess like no one noticed at the time that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they noticed very soon after that. They noticed, you know, we were at Black Ops Brisbane when we got the phone call. It's only an hour later.
Is that right?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it just got questioned, and I don't know. It's a really interesting one.
Yeah. Anyway, the awards were good. It was good to catch up with everyone, and wasn't it weird though? At the end, they kicked us all out, and they said,
"I was so weird about that."
They said, first of all, they said you recommended that you leave soon. There's bad weather, and then Matt Kirkengard came back on and said, actually, you're being told to leave. Get the fuck out of here. Not in those words, but you know. And then we all left, and it was just sunny skies. I don't think it rained for another. It didn't even rain the following day, did it?
But was this around the time where there was all those like extreme warnings to get the kids out of school?
Yeah, they closed schools on Friday. It was
a government warning, and I think, yeah, without delving into politics, I think it's probably is that whole, you know, there wasn't enough warning for the floods, and so there was Anastasia was over cautious about warning that if there was a hint of a possibility that something could have happened, get the kids home and avoid like the crazy traffic and the rush and whatever. So I think it might have been a political move, but it did seem weird at the time. Yeah. And I think everyone was leaving and getting their kids from school, and it was like, you know, birds were chirping, and
Yeah.
it was like, what is going on? Like, this is the nicest day we've had in a week. But anyway, here we are.
It was super
Very
weird.
overcautious.
And so the floods was on our list to talk about as well, Hendo. I don't know what we say about these things. Like we've been helping down in northern New South Wales and going down. I went down on Friday. We've had teams going down every day. It's a fucking disaster down there. Lismore is fucked.
Really?
The whole place is fucked. It smells like, literally reminds me, you know how like you go to the dump now, at least the one near me, it's just like a transfer place. They chuck the stuff in containers and they drive them off. When I was younger, dumps were a place where you'd go to and you just dump your rubbish on a pile and then you just leave, and then everyone else would dump their rubbish on a pile and they just push into a corner. Eventually they turn it into a footy field. I don't know if those sort of dumps exist anymore.
Yeah.
But I remember the smell of it. It smelled, that's what Lismore is like. Every single house, every single business has a massive pile of rubbish out the front of it, some like 2 stories high, and it smells like a dump. Everything is brown. There's fucking caravans in trees. It's fucking wild.
Caravans in trees.
There's caravans in trees.
Wow,
I went past the
shouldn't
caravan
laugh.
park. There's a caravan on the roof of the reception and a caravan in the tree out the front.
Fuck.
It's unbelievable. There's so much water.
We had a mini version of that here, Dan, and literally it still smells like a tip. It still smells like the tip. There's piles everywhere. We had on my street a Woolies delivery truck that had tried to drive through the floodwaters, got caught, the floodwater level raised, it tipped on its side and ended up like hanging half off a fence roof, sort of thing. Like it was 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And I sent the message around to some friends and family, and they're like, how the fuck did that get like that? Like it was literally, it was unbelievable. And so we got a mini version of that, but Lismore was just insane because Lismore got hit like Brisbane without the Wivenhoe Dam to sort of alleviate the pressure.
Exactly.
So
it's all low lying. Like there's like we were driving around to drive up to the uni. There's a bit where you drive up the hill and those houses are fine, but the like everywhere else in Lismore is all super low, and just everything was completely covered. It's absolutely crazy. And
what did you wind up doing down there when you took the crew down there?
It changed every day. Like we had guys going down on Wednesday. We filled up an IBC with 1,000 liters of water, and they were just going around from house to house, giving people water, filling up their water bottles. Like the people down there didn't have water at that time. When I went down on Friday, we brought the IBC, but most people had water at that point. So we gave a little bit of that out, but people were generally fine. We were giving out ice cream and beer. We were giving out, which people really appreciated. We were helping, just helping wherever we could. Like some of the crew went to bottle shop that is a customer of ours and helped them clean out their cold room, which was completely fucked. I went to Two Mates and helped them. We got some of their kegs and storing some of those at Black Ops because they got nowhere to store their kegs.
How was that looking?
Oh,
those photos were horrendous.
Yeah, I mean that's just heartbreaking. They just opened up, those guys.
Yeah,
like we were down there 3 weeks ago.
Did you see the Instagram post they posted today?
No.
Uninsured.
Oh,
yeah, they got a fundraiser.
Yeah, they got the GoFundMe. I'll put that in the comments. I put that in our group the other day. So if anyone's listening,
they couldn't get a policy to cover them. Well, a very expensive one, but.
Hey, on that note, Dan, just because I saw another one that I've been following, did you get anywhere near Wandana Brewing? Because I know they went basically under as well.
That's in Mullumbimby, isn't it?
Mullumbimby.
I think some of our guys did. I didn't.
Okay. They got smashed as well. So
did they?
I
didn't realize they were underwater. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they weren't. You know, I'm just having a quick look now. They were sort of. I don't know the height, but there must have been water at least a meter above the floor, maybe even 2. So they got hit pretty hard as well. And I think there's quite a few breweries, and I'm not sure if all of them are asking for help or some of them are just sort of wallowing in their own despair at the moment while they figure out
look,
what
I think closer to home, I think that the breweries that were affected by the flood would have been Milton Common, Newstead in Milton,
on Range as well.
Range,
Parched,
both Newsteads, I think, wasn't it?
Range, both News. I don't know if Doggett Street. It was pretty close. I saw a photo with the floodwater pretty close. It might have got affected. Range, Parched. I don't know if Green Binker would have got affected, but not far. It's down in the low part of Newstead there. But there's been some amazing stories of how some of these breweries have bounced back. I mean, young Matty Wolf works at Parched, and their brewery wasn't affected, and it was designed that way, that they had the car park and everything downstairs. And what was supposed to be what's downstairs is the chillers and the air compressor and all that sort of stuff, which all went under, and all the bathrooms and everything for the venue are downstairs. And he sort of sent me a message. He said, "We've cleaned it up in a day. We've hosed everything out. We've got everything all ready to go. And we fired up the chillers and they worked."
Yeah.
After being submerged. It's like, that's amazing. And, at Newstead, like Jimmy from Milton Common, whose brewery was affected, he's fucking round at Milstead, helping them clean up. And his own brewery's affected. That blows me away. And
what about the Felons guy casually saving some guy's life?
The guys at Felons, yeah. Well, Felons wasn't affected, even though it's right on the river. But then there was like, Jimmy Gold, who just leaps to the rescue of the dude who, got his houseboat flipped over at Kangaroo Point, and he floated across over to the ferry terminal over at Howard Smith Wharves, was about to get sucked under, and they saved him.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, I actually live about 4 or 5 streets away from Matt Holloway, one of the brewers at Felons. And I was chatting to him just to sort of see how he was going. And his house got absolutely hit like a ton of bricks, and water must have been up to, his windows. And so he had to clear out for a week or two. And I mean, it's amazing because it just, the extent of who it affected, its breweries and its people involved in the beer thing, and it just goes on and so on and so forth. It's amazing, and so many people were chipping in to help each other out. It's quite amazing.
I'll give you another story that no one would know about, and it's not at that scale, but just a small thing. We're storing a bunch of beer at a Shoebridge who have trucks that distribute our beer. They don't store beer there, but they happen to have cold rooms, and we just asked them for a favor to store some of it temporarily. And they got totally flooded, their whole warehouse. They're in Murbar.
Yeah.
And we just assumed all of our stock was gone. We had loads of pallets down there. And then we found out the day after the floods, they'd got all of our beer, loaded it into 2 of their trucks, drove the trucks onto a hill somewhere, fueled them up, kept them running for a couple of days to keep them refrigerated, and
bullshit,
saved all of our beer.
Wow. What a bunch of legends.
That is some ridiculous.
I know where Shoebridge are. They're just around the corner from Stone and Wood there, but they're down the bottom part, and Stone and Wood sort of up on the plateau there.
Yeah, amazing.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Wow.
We only got a couple. The only damage we had was we had a couple of pallets of beer that we sent to Coles and was sent back to Shoebridge for some silly reason. Sometimes Coles send beer back because it's, I don't know, they just scan something incorrectly and send it back. And so for the only beer that didn't fit in those trucks, they had them sitting on about 10 pallets up really high so they wouldn't get flooded. And the flooding got to the first carton on each of those pallets. So the first layer of beer on each of those pallets, we dumped, and all the other beer was fine. And we could have kept it, but it was just like dodgy water. We just didn't feel comfortable, keeping that beer. But yeah, very fucking lucky.
Oh. Yeah. The flood stories. I mean, they could take up a whole episode, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy time.
Yeah, if a 12 want to contribute, I think Two Mates is a good one to put some dollars into, because those guys they're lovely guys. They're fucking working their ass off trying to get that place back going again, and the place is fucked.
Yeah.
Their cold room, behind the tap room. You know, you got like direct pour cold room. It's got the drip tray under the taps.
Yeah,
it's all still sitting there exactly as is, except the drip tray and the taps are on the roof, because it's lifted up and it's casually just like rolled over, and then it's just sitting there in the wrong position. And when I was there, they hadn't opened it yet. They had 30 kegs in there, they had all their hops in there, and they hadn't even opened it. It was just sitting there.
Dan, you mentioned, like they're probably a good candidate to sort of donate money to. Do you think it's also worth sort of putting it out there, like even if people aren't, typical donators? I mean, I just went on and had a look at their online store. Like, it's packed. Like, they got so many beers for sale, so much merch for sale. I mean, even, I guess it, as an alternative way of supporting, like even just jumping on and buying stuff.
Venue's buying some of their kegs as well.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned that, Perko, because there is actually a fundraiser this Saturday at Easy Times Brewing Company.
Oh,
I think
yes,
it's called
yes.
The Great Brisbane, I think it's called Lemonade.
I forgot about this, and I was considering heading along. I've got to look at my...
Well, I'm going to be there on...
You're going to be there? All right.
I'm going to be there, yeah.
Okay, now
it's called the Great Brown Lemonade at Easy Times Brewing Company.
It is too.
And it's on Saturday. They open at 11:30. It goes till when they shut at 11:45. I'll try not to get kicked out and go and... so basically the idea is that the whole brewing industry is coming together. So it's going to feature beers. So Milton Common, Newstead Range Parch, Brew Tide. Oh, let's not forget Brew Tide and Fonzie Abbott.
Yes.
They got done too. And Grandad Jack's Distillery in Albion as well.
Yeah.
And Brew Tide's brand new, Gav's, just got it. Anyway, so it says here, Easy Times Brewing Co. is hosting the fundraiser with a full bank of 10 taps and kegs from each flooded brewery, plus Karma kegs, with all proceeds split equally from a final pool. Thirsty Merchants is designing limited edition growlers for pre-order and on the day sales, as well as 10 limited edition numbered golden growlers, as well as other merchandise we made available through beer teas. There'll be both online and live auction on the day, with a prize pool consisting of a V8 hot lap with Todd Hazelwood, Brisbane Lions VIP tickets, Mulaney accommodation, win your height and beer from Stone and Wood, and more.
Nice.
So Easy Times Brewing Co., 20 Logan Road, Wollongabba. Great bunch of people. Get on it. I'll see you down there, everyone. All 12 years.
Nice. Sounds good.
Yeah, you're selling it for me, Hendo, especially when you mentioned you were going. It's changed my... now I'm feeling like I really want to get down there.
Well, just drop us a message.
I actually forgot it was on this weekend. I really did forget about it. So
we'll organise a time. We'll catch up and have a Karma beer.
Yeah.
And I'll buy you a ticket to win the hot lap and the V8.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
Like, did Perko pay for this hot lap?
All right, so next item I've got here, Hendo, I don't know if you want to skip this one, but we got into it last week on the missing episode 21 for a good 20 minutes about Lexicon half and Hogs Bristle.
Do it again.
The controversial Hogs Bristle. All right. Here's the quick summary, right?
Okay.
There's an article from Three Birds Renovations that talks about the top 8 white paints. Okay, and Lexicon, which is the color I've chosen for my house, is mentioned. But half Lexicon has not been mentioned. That's the color Hendo swears by, and that's the color. That's the team color of the 12.
That's correct. And then that article also mentioned Lexicon Quarter.
Lexicon Quarter, yes.
So it's missed the best Lexicon.
That's right. So that was controversial. But then I did some more Googling when I was looking for that article and found 2 other articles also from Three Birds Renovations, also talking about the best choice in white paint. And those ones did mention half Lexicon. So it's controversial. Good. It's a conspiracy of sorts.
So here's the go, right? So basically, in my journey to find the right shade of white for my apartment, I just thought that I would just go and just say, yeah, fucking white paint, piece of piss. I'll just get natural white, right? So I get the little sample pot of natural white and I go slap it on the wall in the lounge room there. And I went, I don't like it. I don't like this. And I just thought, you just think white paint is white paint, and it's not. And so,
Was that, just to clarify, was that the vivid white you're referring to?
No, that was natural white, because I thought, I'll just set something as neutral. So the
Okay.
word natural white was like, I thought, oh, that's just something neutral. I didn't want anything, too weird or anything like that. And I went, I don't like it. It's too beige. And then I went back to Bunnings on 3 other fucking occasions, and I went and bought vivid white. And so vivid white is basically untinted paint. And if you want your fucking ceilings the same color as your walls, knock yourself out. Go get vivid white. But
To quote Three Birds Renovations, it's the purest white you can get and it's fresh and crisp.
Yeah, and if you want your place looking like a fucking doctor's surgery, knock yourself out, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be, that was a no. That was a no from me. And so then there was, Lexicon, and I bought the sample pots for Lexicon half and Lexicon quarter. Lexicon full Lexicon, which is what you've gone.
What about, just before you get into that, was Hog's Bristle
I don't
ever
even
involved?
get me started.
Okay,
on
all right.
hog
Let's
bristle,
go.
Right? So hog bristle, right?
Okay.
No. Let's go there, right?
Okay.
Since you fucking raise it, right?
The only reason I raise it is because I've just painted my skirting boards Hog's Bristle because Elon ate them.
Yeah.
This is in my rental house.
Right.
So that's.
I think that there should be a complaint put in with the ACCC or fair trading or something like that, because hog bristle isn't fucking white. It's fucking green.
I'm going to show you my Hog's Bristle because
it's green.
Do that. It's not green.
Hog bristle half, hog bristle quarter.
That's Hog Bristle. Oh, that's Hog
the
Bristle
skirting
quarter,
boards.
Skirting boards. It's a creamy sort of color.
It's green. It's
I
green.
think it's quarter. Yeah. Hog's Bristle quarter.
Yeah, and it's a green.
It's not
look
white,
at whole,
that's for sure.
Like full hog bristle. It's a green color. You can't sell it as white. I will not accept it being included in as a white paint at all.
Well,
right?
It's definitely not green, but okay, all right.
It doesn't look green probably in your application there, but when you look at it by itself, it's fucking green.
It looks very beige when I look at it.
Is it beige?
Mine's beige. It's a creamy. So like, look at my walls in this house.
It is creamy.
Creamy.
It's kind of got a bit of a very slight
It's fucking green.
Pink
have a look at hog bristle quarter. It's green.
Well, that does look green on there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hog bristle
quarter's like got a green tinge to it.
Hog's bristle quarter. No, I don't know if that's. Oh, yeah. No, sometimes it does. That's interesting. See, I think screens are not a good way to look at colors either.
No, they're not. No. And so, that's the really interesting thing, right? It was because look, if you want to go for your fucking rustic country fucking cabin look, go hog bristle the shit out of your place, right? But that's not what I wanted, right? And so that's why I fell into the Lexicon range, right? Now I threw the Lexicon, full Lexicon half, Lexicon quarter up on the wall with sample pots, right? $7 a pop. I was already fucking 3 other sample pots deep with my natural white, the vivid white, and white on white was the other one.
Yeah.
Right. And white on white is kind of it's not
white on white. It makes the list as well in the top 8.
But it's not. But you'd think white on white would be like vivid white, but it's not. It's got like a cream. That's like a cream color.
Interesting. Good for use in architraves and skirting, according to Three Birds Renovations.
Yep. And so it really left Lexicon, right? And full Lexicon is I find it's great, right? Because you come around to my place the other week, right? And had a look at my place, and it was good to see you, and I'm glad you got to have a look at it, that sort of thing. And you were even sort of saying that the Lexicon half is quite grey compared to the ceiling, which is vivid white, right?
Yeah.
And you've gone the full Lexicon, and so I hope I haven't scared you into.
You have scared me,
right? Yeah, into like whether you've selected the right paint.
That's the exact problem. You have scared me. That's why I'm looking up Google all the time, researching these articles.
Just ring the builder and get them to change it. It's only paint.
I know, but I'm fucking nervous because I'm worried they're going to cancel my contract.
Have you been in their ear with changes, variations?
Regularly.
Are you one of those customers?
Yes, I am. Yeah. And I know they're canceling contracts for other builds. So I don't want to fuck it up. But I also, let me read this to you. This is normal Lexicon.
Yeah.
I like what it says about the leather and whatnot. Hang on. Is this the... Oh, no, that was in the video. I put a video on the...
No, the video. Oh, yeah. That was fascinating. Did you watch that video?
Yeah.
Did you see what they did to that house?
No, wait. I just watched
Lexicon?
the first bit about the Lexicon. No, I didn't watch the whole thing.
It was only like 3.5 minutes. And I watched the whole thing. Yeah. They painted the whole house, roof and ceiling and everything.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
And I went, that's gross.
But see, they even do that with the white on white.
But you've got to have a ceiling white because otherwise you don't get any depth and sense of space in your room.
Well,
is your ceiling the same color as your walls?
No, it's not. That's what I was just looking at it. But I don't think it's white either. Like you can look at it. This is not the best house to go on for modern trends, though. This is like a 30-year-old house. But let me read this. If you like a contemporary interior, Lexicon is fresh and cool white. The bold white pairs brilliantly with timber flooring, exposed brick and polished concrete. Is a perfect shade for displaying your artwork collection. See, I like artwork.
Yeah, me too.
I don't have any, but that's okay.
Well, go fucking buy some.
If you don't have much natural light, it can be a bit too cold and greyish in shadows, which is what you said.
That's right. But I've got lots of natural light in my place. So
yeah, I don't know. I assume I've got big windows. I've got big windows. It's a new house.
You've got your place faces east-west. So you'll get plenty of light, mate, except the middle of the day, you'll get the shade.
So the whole time there's light.
Yeah, which is good.
Okay.
You actually should be right.
You got a new beer. I'm going to get another beer.
Yes, I've got a new beer. So this is the Long Stocking Irish Stout. This is a beer that I don't even think Perko has even had.
I've not had that one. I
So
think you mentioned Long Stocking a couple of weeks ago.
They're a client of mine. So
I'm just on the Loophole Draft.
More client beers. That should be Loophole Draft. Yeah, it should be like did Hendo pay for this beer? Where are they? Hambula.
Okay.
Hambula.
Right. So they're not something that I'll find available yet. Is that what you're saying? Like are they
pretty small brewery? I'm sure.
Operation.
Show us that one, Hendo. I missed it because I was forgetting.
It's the long Stocking Irish Stout. And so they're down in Pambula, which is down in Wollongong, isn't it? It's past Wollongong, isn't it?
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, down that way.
Every fucking brewery you guys mentioned, I've never heard of. What's going on?
Well, this is good. This is why you have a podcast. You learn a few things.
The more you know. So
it's not just about sharing your own knowledge, like your love for Lexicon. It's about learning that Lexicon half is the superior paint. Is that right?
I've got a lot of anxiety around this whole situation of the Lexicon because it's a big decision. If I'm painting my entire house this color, and I'm worried I've made the wrong decision.
Don't worry about it, mate. Just all you got to do is you just got to follow the. My father, he imparted this wonderful wisdom on us. He said that the Henderson family motto is right. Okay, so don't feel like that you're gonna mess things up. That's the thing. So the Henderson family motto is you don't fuck up.
That's it.
Oh.
Shit. So it's a motto without the wisdom that we're waiting for at the end of the. Okay. All right. I've got a Black Ops birthday beer from the weekend because I didn't get to go and I haven't had it. So
what's that one called?
It's called Another Lap Around the Sun Hazy IPA.
Oh, nice one. How's it tasting?
Is it it's not a staff beer?
No, we had our third birthday at BH2 on Saturday, but that was the day I went down to Lismore. So I didn't get back till 7 o'clock and it had finished. But actually, it was a really good day. It was swelteringly hot. And it was the second biggest day we've ever had at BH2. So that was really cool.
Oh, nice.
Great job.
Yeah, cool.
But I didn't get
the stout's pretty good.
That's
very
a pretty
roasty.
clean glass too, Hendo. Look at that.
Oh, that looks good.
Nice and thick looking. Oh, that smells fucking yummy.
Did your big batch of that at BH2 or?
No, just a little batch.
Yeah, right.
We did 3 birthday beers for a 3rd birthday. We do the number of beers for each birthday, but every year it gets harder at HQ because we're up to 7, I think, for the upcoming birthday.
Yeah, right.
BH2 is a bit easier. Man, that smells good. I missed yours, Perko. What was your beer?
What did you get?
It's actually, I'm just kind of going light-ish on this one. This is the loophole draft, so it's just the hat I'm wearing. It's their
where are they?
They're South Australia. I'm pretty sure they're a brand new brewery because they sort of hit me up to, hey, do you want to try some of our beers? And they send me arguably more experimental beers than the one I'm drinking. But yeah, I wasn't sure if I wanted to sort of get some photos of some of their beers. So I thought I'd just chuck something more standard in the picture. It's interesting though. It says crisp and refreshing, draft or draft. And I'm not sure if it's just because of the previous beers I've drunk, but I'm getting this like sort of bubblegummy flavor to it. It's really bizarre. I'm not sure if it's affected by the previous beers or if it's something in the beer that's actually creating a unique flavor to it, but it's quite pleasant. I'm enjoying it, so no complaints.
Good.
I was just going to say the whole Lexicon thing was reminding me a lot of the movie American Psycho, where they're comparing business cards.
It's exactly that.
Eggshell raised lettering.
Yeah. It's like,
oh my God.
bone, emboss.
Oh,
yeah,
simple
exactly.
font, you know.
And he just start breaking out.
And he's
of
like,
sweat.
Puts the card down.
That's exactly what it is. Fuck.
That's true. We need to do a meme. Put that in the group. Hendo
Yeah,
and
actually,
Dan
you're
talking
right.
about Lexicon.
I can sort that.
Okay.
Oh dear.
All right. So we're moving on from that. Nothing's going to change. But
I'm looking forward to seeing yours when it's done, though.
yeah. And then we talked. We had this on here. It's kind of old news now, but it was sort of funny because we had it down here as old mate from Lark in his undies smoking crack in his own apartment. But results are good. By the dip.
By the fucking dip.
So this was your non-financial advice from a couple of weeks ago.
This is not financial advice.
No, but the advice, if it was advice, was buy Lark
by the
shares.
fucking dip.
And that a monster quarter. They're doing very well.
And there was a bit of like a lot of sketchy stuff about that because like some internet sleuths did some investigating about that video, and then and because he said it was like someone trying to extort him.
Yeah,
and said he did that in Singapore, and then some internet sleuths saw another photo of him. It turns out it's in his own fucking house.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, because they matched the background, a couple of pictures, and they went
and the weird light shade in that. Yeah,
so weird.
So did you just make the whole thing up? It just seems like such a strange thing to make up.
Yeah. Oh, the dip's over, man.
Oh shit! Really?
Oh, let's have a look. No. Yeah, no, it dips over, mate.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it's back down. So it dropped to 324, and then it went up to 362 and back down to 327 now.
Well, that means we're still mid-dip. Still good time to buy.
I suppose, yeah. Buy low, sell high, whatever that is. So that's not financial advice either.
But okay, well, we'll keep monitoring that story and see if anything changes. Such a fucking weird.
Not even once. Such
a weird thing. All right. Should we get into? Oh, we had a. I don't know if we want to get into this stuff. Do you want to? What about the better beer one? Do you care about that? The Mighty Craft.
Mate, we drank better beer the last week. We saw each other.
We did. We had one at the awards.
Yeah.
Was it better?
That was better than nothing. Better than no beer.
It was free.
It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. It was better than no beer. Did it win any awards, I wonder?
I don't know. I didn't keep the catalogue. I should have. It definitely didn't win any trophies. I don't know if we got any golds.
It'll be on the. You guys talk amongst yourselves, and I reckon it'll be online.
Did you see that one, Perko? They responded to the claim about them copying the Sidewinder?
No, I actually,
branding?
I haven't kept in touch with it. What's the crux of it?
Well, Sidewinder complained, Brickland complained that Better Beer stole their branding.
I
Which if
saw
you
that
look-
much.
Yeah,
I
if you look at
didn't-
the cans, they
Yeah.
kind of did. But then
Yeah.
the response was basically they were working on this a year before. They were all working on it at the same
Yeah.
time, which is what we kind of predicted. Remember, Hendo,
Yeah.
we were talking about, and I kind of said, like, designers are just all looking at the same shit around the same sort of time, and they don't
Yes.
copy each other, but they.
I mean, it's like, I think, look, my personal opinion is like, you know, to put it very sort of loosely, like, I know, you know, let's say, for example, you know, your Black Hops original labels, when Matt Vigotis, who I work with, did the wraparound, it wasn't really a thing.
No.
And so it was sort of a thing that you guys did, and it was a really, really good idea, quite a bit cutting edge at the time.
We
And then,
we did steal it off Modus first. We weren't the first to do it.
I suppose, but it was done
It was
in
a
a way
bit
that
different. Yeah.
the reason it was a bit different was because you sort of had like a designed can that could fit the wraparound that was a little bit more like, it looked like it was a fully printed can because you
Yes.
had, anyway, that really did kind of kick off after that. And then next minute you've got like 100 breweries around that look similar, and
Yes.
ones that are doing like the kind of dodgy version of what you guys did. And I feel like it's that thing where certain trends get traction. And as a designer myself, if you get a brief from a client, they're like, hey, we like A and B, quite often you're like, okay, well, I can't do anything like A and B, but I've got to take nods to each. So you create this thing that's unique. And then the client will push you, no, we want these revisions, and it drags you in one way or the other. And by the time you're finished, unfortunately, sometimes you end up with a result that's a bit too close to another example because they're so attached to the thing that they liked.
Yeah.
You've then produced something that's like teetering on fraudulent, and you're kind of like, you're so sick of like revisions, and you're so sick of like all of this bullshit. When they say, yes, here's the money, you know, we're done, you kind of like, all right, well, that will do. It's close, but it's different. We're done here, sort of thing. And then you get a lawsuit from it, and it's kind of like, as a designer, it would be super frustrating to know that like you maybe presented an option that was far more like individual, and you got dragged down. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I see what you're saying. I think in our case, because we were so open with the way we did things back then, like we told everyone who our designer was, we said the exact approach we used. And then Matt got lots of work after that from other breweries designing their labels, and they all ended up looking almost the same as ours. So that was that we kind of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit with that. Like they were using the same designer, doing the same thing effectively, which probably wasn't the best idea. But I don't care. But what I was going to say about the Sidewinder example is, ironically, if they had have been in your situation where the client said, I like this and I like this, give me something similar, they probably would have come up with something quite different because they would have been really conscious of not making it look the same. But I'd be more inclined to think they weren't looking specifically at that can. They were just inspired by the same things, and it's just kind of turned out looking similar by fluke.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
I
see what you're saying.
It's quite often a thing with design where like, and similar with music, where it's quite amazing how sometimes two people have a similar idea and then they happen to just land at the same time. And then there's suddenly, you know, you've got two great ideas that emerge from different places, which land on a similar sort of wavelength. And it's like, oh, hang on, it's too similar. It's like, you copied me. No, you copied me. And it's like, but I started then and I started then. And you sort of realize that they've just arrived at the same destination at the same time. And then there's, you know, a bit of headbutting. So who knows?
It's like that have you read that book called Big Magic before?
I have not.
It's cool.
What's that about?
It's about that exact thing. It's a book from the lady who wrote Eat, Pray, Love. But it's just about creativity. And it's about the fact that ideas just kind of, and it's amazing how this happens. Like I listen to lots of podcasts about musicals and people writing songs and stuff. Like ideas just kind of magically fall into people's lives sometimes.
Yes.
That's what that book's like. It's about. It's like, you know, sometimes an idea will kind of fall into someone's life. They may not execute it. If they don't, it just kind of goes back up into the ether and falls into someone else's life. And sometimes they fall, like you're describing, into two places at once through no fault of anybody. It's just a bit of magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really interesting one because, like, you know, when I ran Brew Cult and coming up with beer names and beer labels and all that sort of stuff, it was easier then. It's be a lot harder now. I don't envy yourself, Dan, or anything like that, to get something that's unique out. But at the same time, there's a lot of fucking breweries that just don't do the basic research and come out with a beer that's the same name as another beer, and, you know, all sorts of strife happens. And it's not hard to Google it or check Untapped or Rate Beer.
There's so many beers out there, though, Hendo. Like, it's it's almost impossible. Like half the time, like if we're doing a small batch beer, and it'll be like this one, Another Lap Around the Sun. If I went onto Untapped and thought, for a beer that we're brewing that's going to be for sale for 2 days in the Black Ops tap room, if there was another beer already called that wasn't really that popular, I'd probably still call it that. You know what I mean? If you're launching a core range beer, you'd want to do a lot more research. You want to do a lot.
Yes.
Probably think about trademarking, and you don't want to bring one out that's the same name. But I don't know. I just think there's so many beers out there now, especially if you're looking outside of Australia. There's not many names left. So you got to kind of weigh up the risk, I think.
Yeah. I think you can be, and at this, I get it. And I think there's still room for innovation, but one of the things I just don't like is just straight out, you know, intellectual property theft. You know,
but see, even that sometimes is a bit of like, it's a bit of you know, laziness. Like I follow a guy called Boss Logic who does all these posters from all like Marvel movies and shit, right? He's not licensed to use the images, but he uses some of those images in his designs because he makes them cool, and it's good publicity for them. It's good. It's kind of like, it's not stealing. It's kind of like morphing the ideas into your own, paying tribute to the original idea. Like there's a little bit of that in some of those beers, I think.
You're allowed to do things like create derivative works and that sort of thing, but you're not allowed to do passing off. Right?
Like something like Jedi juice. Like to me, that's just like, it's a bit of fun. Like just let them do it type thing, you know? Like it's not really, it's not hurting.
I think the word Jedi was trademarked though. It was a registered trademark.
If that's the case, then fine. But
because but it's very interesting. I just think that, you know, like there's a I don't know if you follow it, Perko. Intellectual Poopity on Instagram.
No, I might do that though. I might follow.
It's called Intellectual Poopity with 3 O's.
Okay.
And so basically, I think it's an Australian guy who does it, and he just gets sent all these. So basically, it's like a carousel. The first photo is the photo of the beer, and the second photo in the carousel is what they're ripping off.
Is it another beer?
No, it's usually like whatever IP they're ripping off, you know.
Right, that's it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I see.
It's pretty good. It's
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Good stuff there. So
There's
check out if you're on Instagram, be sure to check out Intellectual Poopity with 3 O's.
Yeah, that's good. No, I like that. It's
very interesting interesting Instagram account to follow.
Eye-opening.
I just put that into Google and got 0 results. So I'm going to come back to that later. I can't use my phone because it's on airplane mode, recording a backup recording for this episode. We got some questions from people.
Yeah, what do you got?
But do you want to? We got one more potential topic, Hendo, which is another one we got into last week in the famous deleted shitpost episode for a long time, and that is the topic of mountain culture microdosing their beers.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
All right.
So I understand microdosing to be LSD.
Yes. No, it's not that.
I think Elon Musk does it.
Yeah. All the Silicon Valley types do it to be more productive.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know if it works.
No.
I'd be open-minded to trying it myself, but probably that would be a little bit.
With your backdrop there, it would probably work nicely.
Yeah, it'd probably work pretty good.
Yeah.
So what is microdosing then
Well,
in the mountain culture sense?
What it isn't is doing small hop additions in the boil, which is what the 90-minute IPA is.
Yeah, dogfish.
So it's not that.
Mm-hmm.
But what it is doing small hop additions continuously at different stages during fermentation.
During fermentation, that's the interest. That's the different part.
Yes, that's the difference. And based on what you described to me last week, the reason is because at different stages of fermentation, the hops. Fuck, I'm doing so well. I'm doing so well.
You know, I'm all ears, mate.
Well, they release different aromatics at different stages or different exposure times.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm close. I know I'm close.
You're the fucking dry hop master.
I know, but
You're
these are wet.
absolutely right.
These are wet.
So I'll let you off the hook, mate.
That was pretty close, wasn't it?
So that was pretty close, yeah. So basically, when you have hop compounds, you talk about them in terms of their survivability.
That's
so
right,
as in whether the aroma compounds, which are very delicate, will survive through to the end beer. So if you think about the brewing process, you've got where you can actually add hops. You can add hops into the mash. You can add hops early in the boil, middle of the boil, end of boil, whirlpool. You can do starter fermentation, mid fermentation, end of fermentation, dry hopping. And the more survivable hop varieties you can add earlier to create an outcome, but the ones that are less survivable, you have to add later to preserve them so that they wind up in the finished beer. And so what DJ McCready's on about with microdosing is adding lots of hops at lots of different points through the fermentation process to sort of get different outcomes with the survivability as the fermentation progresses. And it's kind of an extension of double dry hopping or triple dry hopping and that sort of thing. It just becomes a continuous thing. I've not tried a beer that's gone through the microdosing process, but I'd be very keen to try one. I think that the concept has some merit. It is certainly not those who've been on, the keyboard warriors out there going, oh, Dogfish had been doing it for 20 years or something like that. This is not the same thing, right? That's more hot side. This is what DJ's doing is cold side. The inherent risks around that for oxidizing your beer. As you know, beer is very susceptible to, it can be damaged very easily, especially really hoppy New England IPAs and hazy IPAs. They're very susceptible to damage from very, very small amounts of oxygen.
Well, one of the questions we wanted to answer, wasn't it, was how they were actually doing that.
Well, exactly. And so if you're continuously opening a tank and dosing in hops and then closing the tank again, that's a real big risk. So he must have figured out some way to be able to do these sort of microdoses of hops, but do it in a way that doesn't ingress oxygen into the beer. I think it's fascinating. I would like to know more about it. I'd love to try a beer that's gone through that process. But then at the same time, kind of skeptical me goes, well, this is just another fucking thing that brewers are doing and wrapping around a marketing thing, double dry hopping being a classic one. And then last year's fad was the dip hopping. Remember dip hopping, Perko?
Yeah. You
know what that is?
I remember it from last year.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? I don't want you to fucking look it up on Google.
No, he's on the keyboard, isn't he?
Do you remember what it is? Just
look at me in the eye. You can see him looking at it.
Okay, look me in the eye.
No.
I'm trying to make a point here.
I can't really remember.
Exactly, and that's the fucking point.
Okay,
right?
wow.
What did they do?
Point. So dip hopping was basically where you put some hot water or some hot wort into the bottom of the fermenter.
Okay.
Then throw in some dry hops into the fermenter. You let it steep for an hour before you go and knock out your wort into the fermenter, right?
Oh.
And so this is exactly my point, right? Is that there's always some new hopping fad, right? That sort of comes and goes, and is microdosing just the latest one that we'll forget about in a year's time?
What's your prediction?
I think it's something they're going to forget about in a year's time.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Because there's because the thing is that because when you use the word micro dosing, it doesn't sound like the consumer is getting more.
Yeah, true.
Right? Dip hopping.
Yeah,
doesn't
double
sound
dry
like,
hop. It's like, oh shit, yeah, I get twice as many hops.
Exactly. Right. And that's my point. So when you talk about double dry hopping,
unless the consumer thinks they're getting LSD in the beer.
That's a different story. But double dry hopping, though, right? There's that sense that the consumer is getting more. I remember where the fuck was I doing this? Like I was with Matty Cuthbert, was walking to Felons or something like that, or with a punter, and we were talking about double dry hopping and that sort of thing. And I said to this punter, I was like, double dry hopping, man, I'm really skeptical about it. You know, I said, what does it mean to you? Does it mean that's twice the amount of hops, or that it's dry hopped on 2 occasions? And he goes, oh, it's twice the amount. It's double the amount. And I'm like, okay, cool. So if a brewery releases a beer that's double dry hopped, when have they ever released a single dry hop version of it?
I thought it's twice, 2 occasions for sure.
It's 2 occasions. This is exactly what it is. And that's why Matty and I did our TDH hazy IPA.
Okay. Yeah.
It was 3 malts, 3 yeasts, 3 hop varieties, twice dry hopped.
But so twice or double dry hop or triple dry hop or whatever.
No, it wasn't triple dry hopped. It was twice dry hopped.
Okay.
TDH.
Oh, I got it. Not to be confused with double dry hop.
Or triple dry hopped TDH.
No, it's not. It wasn't triple dry hopped. It was twice dry hopped.
Twice dry hopped.
TDH.
Yeah.
We didn't tell anyone that. They just assumed it was fucking triple. But.
Okay. Is the double dry hop? Wait, did you do it on different days?
Twice dry hopped.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So is that also a survivability thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Early in fermentation versus late in fermentation, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So it is really just an extension of the kind of
double dry hop. Yeah.
Twice dry hop.
Twice dry hopped. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. So I'm not poo-pooing double dry hopping. I think it's it does something. It's it's certainly not double the amount, and that's I think the marketing phrase that sort of gets lost with consumers. They think that it's twice the amount of hops, but it's not. If a beer's only ever been double dry hopped, then that's the amount of hops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do some questions.
Oh yeah.
We, as you'd expect, I put a call out for some questions, and we got pretty savagely trolled, which we deserve to.
Oh fuck yeah.
The first one, Lee McAllister, who I saw him at the Beer Awards. I asked him to come on. He seemed a little bit reluctant, but he said yes.
I had a couple of beers with him.
So, all right. Did you hit him up?
For what?
To come on the podcast.
He's very shy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed a bit reluctant to come on. I've never thought of him as someone who was shy.
He's a bit shy, yeah.
All right.
That's okay.
His comment was, will you remember to record on your phones?
Yes.
Yes, we will.
Recording on my phone now.
At what time does a shit post become a shit post? Damien Rigby, podcast tonight. I don't believe you. Andrew True, will you upload the entire podcast first go? Luigi, are we ever going to be able to listen to it?
Has Lexicon half G changed his name?
He's changed his name to Luigi.
He's one of those people that changes his name on Facebook every 45 days, the frequency, the maximum
but
frequency.
But that's a serious effort to change his whole name to Lexicon 3G, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Like that's he's one of the 12 for sure.
Indeed.
Dwayne Thomas says, let's talk about how good gap filling is. And then it says, this is the worst.
I don't understand.
Is it? It's a reference
to paint thing.
It's like a paint
filling
thing.
A gap.
Oh, gap filling.
Gap filling.
Oh, do you mean filling cracks and gaps and all?
I love gap filling. It's really satisfying.
So this is like turning into like a tradies sort of podcast in a lot of ways.
Three of the 4 months of my renos was just paint preparation.
Gap filling's fun though, isn't it? It's satisfying.
Yeah, it's all right. You mean silicone? Or
yeah.
It's hard. It's very hard to do. Have you done it?
I have.
I'm not very good at it.
I've done it. I had a 120-year-old house in Paddington, and I did a lot of gap filling there because there's a lot of cracks in the walls and stuff. but I wasn't really confident enough to do it in a bathroom where you can kind of see. Like this was stuff that we were painting, the little gaps we were painting over, couldn't even see it. But doing it in a bathroom where you can see it, I didn't really fuck with that level of.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but what I used to do is get a little bit of soapy water and then just run my finger down with the soapy water.
That's what you do. That's what you're supposed to do. Yes, you're supposed to have a wet rag and soapy water spray as well. As how you do it.
Well, that was
some good YouTube videos there.
Fun. I love doing that.
Yeah, I've got to redo the black silicone in my toilet because I painted after the silicone. The Tyler did the silicone, and so it doesn't look really nice.
Right.
So but that's going to be hard because black silicone. It's not like it's clear and you fuck it up and it's transparent.
Yes. Yeah.
This is black silicone.
And it's glossy as well, isn't it? That stuff.
I'm scared. Yeah.
Well, you could do a video, put it in the group.
Have you considered just getting a Tyler for an hour and just getting him to like run around?
That's a good idea.
You know? Like Ed,
I'm so poor after these videos, I can't even afford to pay attention. It's it's bad.
Now this is a bit of a hack here. Leon Perkin, who's technically a host of the podcast, so you shouldn't be asking yourself questions.
And one of the 12.
But he's gone in here and he said, like his comment, if we should discuss Carwyn $70 beer glass.
How many likes did it get?
8 likes, which is 75% of our audience.
All right.
So
do you have a link to this $70 fucking Carwyn Cellars glass?
Yeah, can I hang on?
You can put in the chat.
Yes, I can. I'll send it right now.
Yeah, this was news to me.
This is a custom-made glass that Carwyn Cellars did a collaboration with a beer glass, a glassware company called Denver and Liley.
Hey, looks like my fucking Helios glass.
Yeah.
No, that's a Teku.
Yeah, so the thing is, there was a lot of controversy over this one because the shape.
It's an obnoxious looking glass.
The shape of it is.
I don't even think it'd fit a tin of fucking Hollandia.
What were you going to say, Perko, about the shape of it?
Well, I think the more important thing, regardless of what I think of the shape or what anyone thinks of the shape,
but I want you to say what I want you to finish your thought.
No, the shape of it's a custom shape that they believe accentuates, I think, that the smell and the taste of the beer and all the rest of it. And if you actually click that link,
no, I'm on it. I'm looking at it right now.
It kind of explains. It says that the smell profile has been highly tuned through computer modeling, then tweaked by rigorous and delicious testing. The gorgeous lip helps spin the liquid to provide a silkier, richer experience. The stem isolates the beverage to better maintain drinking temperature.
It is a good idea to isolate the beverage.
Designed foremost for function and performance. And
it says this is the only beer glass that you will ever need as well. Which is
and they're saying, so Carwyn have run tasting sessions from Melbourne, Sydney, and they were going to do one in Brisbane, I think at Brewski, but it got cancelled due to floods. But they're actually doing sessions where they're putting numerous beers into this glass and a different glass, and you get to taste them both. Yeah, something like that, like a more of a generic vessel. And then you taste the difference. And supposedly, from what I've read from probably a lot of people that got invited to the event and got free beers and a free glass, probably so far, a lot of them have said that it's a great glass. So I'm wondering. Yeah. I'm waiting for more information. But
did Perko pay for this glass?
I don't have one. So maybe. Look,
and they haven't sent you one, and you got a pretty good relationship with the Carwyn Cellars crew.
No,
it must be a fucking really expensive, genuinely expensive glass.
It is, but I'm just interested to know. Like, I've heard nothing but praise for the glass. So
really,
I'm just, but like on the Beer Thread group, it's become a little bit of a joke. I mean, the group can be a harsh place for anyone or anything, but the glass has turned into a bit of a meme. So
it's a $70 glass.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to expect to be memed if you're going to have a $70 glass.
Yeah,
that's right. And it's just interesting because essentially it's just a more exaggerated version of your Teku or your these ones, one of these. Like it's just accentuating the shape with a bit more like.
Well, it's just like it's just a tulip, isn't it? It's just a bit of slightly different design. It looks nice. I just the look of it looks like it's just a little bit too obnoxious, but I'm sure it's good.
It's out of stock. It's sold out.
You can't buy it, Hendo. That's the thing.
Wow.
So look, I think we're at the point with craft beer where people are looking to spend more money on glassware to supposedly accentuate the drinking experience. And it'd be interesting to either A, taste beer out of this and compare it, or B, hear from someone who has and get a very honest opinion or intellectual. I think the most interesting thing, which you can't really do, is to sort of blind taste test. I mean, or at least...
Well, you probably could, couldn't you?
You probably almost could.
You could do it blindfolded.
It would be tricky because...
Like a Teku and one of these or something like that.
And just a normal Headmaster glass and a Craftmaster and a couple
It'd be hard not to know what you're drinking out of. But I guess more to the point, like I think it's just one of those things that it really begs the question, like at what point is a glass worth $70? And do you think that a glass as expensive as this could really sort of heighten the flavors or the aromas or all those things to the point where it is justified? And I guess you can only compare it to wine glasses or whiskey glassware and all those sorts of things, that this is more common.
Well, Hendo doesn't even use glasses, but do you want to try to answer the question, Hendo?
What was the question?
Is it possible for a glass to be worth $70?
Oh, fuck no. No.
So really, when you're judging, Hendo, you should have like 20 of these in front of you.
What do they use for judging? What glasses do they use for judging?
They're called the
whiskey ones? That'd be too expensive, wouldn't it? Those things are fucking expensive.
No, they're like
I like those whiskey ones. I don't know if it necessarily makes it taste better.
They're like the little kind of whiskey tasting glasses. They've got a name. I can't remember what they're called.
We use them for tasters at AWOL. They're what are they called?
XL5.
XL5.
XL5. They're called.
Oh, Stoltz are the ones we use at AWOL.
Yeah.
See, they're not fucking cheap. What are your ones? XL5.
Yeah, I know the ones. They're almost. It's what.
Yeah, Stoltzer. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
same brand. No, they're not. These are the ones. This is the one I'm thinking of. These are the ones we use for tasters at AWOL. Are these what you use? They're not fucking cheap. These glasses.
I think, Hendo, you're talking about the Luigi Bormioli, which I think is the same brand as this glassware.
Yes.
And they're more your your standard wine glass tasters with the.
No, we don't use those for judging.
These ones, Hendo, that one I put in there.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to send you.
Yes, we just shared the same one, Perker. It's the same brand.
Yeah.
It's the same brand as those.
I just sent you a link to Wine Star. That's the ones we use in judging.
Yeah,
XL5
we all just shared the same glass.
Yeah,
did we?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
But if you look at the link I shared, Hendo, that one, that's the whiskey glass I'm talking about. I reckon that improves the experience of drinking something nice, but not necessarily because you get more flavor, just because it's a nice thin. It's more enjoyable to drink out of it, I suppose.
Sure, and there's nothing wrong with the bit of fancy glassware if you're having a bit of a bottle share and marking the moment and all that sort of thing. Totally cool. I just can't justify $70 for one glass.
We went to there's a Belgian restaurant down the Gold Coast called Bridges MD. We went there with Ian, with probably 20 people from Black Ops, all the brewers. And every Belgian beer they sell, they have the matching proper Belgian glass for it.
Oh shit, yeah.
And one of the glasses,
or whatever.
One of the glasses, I can't remember the beer, but it was like basically like a test tube. It was like a mini yard glass this big.
Yeah, with a wooden frame.
And you have to put it in there and drink it.
Yeah, that's like a quack.
Yeah,
what do they call
it?
Quack glass.
That's it.
you know why they call it a quack glass?
I probably found out that night, but I had too many of the 12% fucking
Because it
whiskey
cracks.
ones.
It quacks when you, like, after you take a sip, and as you put the glass down, it goes quack.
I thought you were going to say because it doesn't stand up on its own, it'll fall over and quack.
No. Well, no. It actually makes it. Just go back there again, and get your fucking ear in there as you take a sip, put it down, it goes quack.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, I think
One of the interesting things about this restaurant is the beer guy there, the sommelier, not sommelier,
Yeah.
what's the
Cicerone.
The Cicerone is 11 years old, and he comes up and he tells you
What?
about all these beers. Yeah,
The Cicerone's 11 years old.
yeah,
What a
brilliant.
weapon!
He's their son.
And he knows everything about the beers.
Yeah, all the stories and everything comes up. Just
He
starts.
didn't know
talking
about the
to you.
fucking quack story, did he?
No, I didn't ask him about that because I didn't order that one. Someone else ordered that one. But yeah.
So with the $70 glass thing though, like I guess it just begs the question really, like, you know, despite all the fluff and all the justification for why it's $70, like, do you think like we're at a point where it's like an accessory? Like, you know, is it like the Louis Vuitton of glasses? Like, are you kind of like, if you're posting about this, a beer drinking and you're drinking it out of that glass, you know, is it sort of like wearing like a Rolex versus like, you know,
You're just going to get
No.
shit though, aren't you? And
No.
that glass?
Do you know what it's
well-
for? It's for Instagram.
yeah. That's probably it. But like, I guess if you're going to sell it for that price, you've got to have a really like well articulated, like solid story behind it. You're selling it for that reason.
Okay, you should just reach out to Carwyn Cellars and just go, hey, look, if you send me one of those glasses,
They're sold out,
I'll
Hendo.
make
You
sure
can't
to
get
give
them.
you a shot.
We need 3 for the podcast.
And
Because
then,
you can get
just
stuff
say-
that's sold out. How does that work?
And just like, you know, I'll post about you on my Instagram, and you'll get some internet kudos.
It looks bloody delicious in that video there. With
It's
the
look,
foam
don't get me wrong,
coming
it's
out
a
of it.
great looking glass. I'm sure it does a wonderful job for beer aromatics and all that sort of stuff. I personally just couldn't justify spending $70.
The only thing missing is
It only
us
holds
not
330 as
having
well.
one.
You can't even fit a beer
It's
in
only
it.
330 ml. I can't even hold a tin of Hollandia.
Shit.
But the thing is, right, is if someone gave it to me as a gift, I would be very grateful for it.
Is that a hint?
But I would not. My birthday's just passed.
Well, yeah.
But I wouldn't buy one for myself.
No. I think that's where a lot of people sit, and therefore that's opened up the whole floodgates for maybe having fun with the idea that it's $70. And then there are people that have spent that money, but that's fine. I mean, it's just one of those things that we haven't really seen a glass for $70, let alone a glass for $50. It's not even
At the
common.
old
So to jump
IPA
that
glasses.
The old IPA glasses were like, when they were given away with
The
the Bridge Road 4-packs,
The
they were
Spiegelau
borderline
and
free.
yeah,
The
Spiegelau
Spiegelau ones. Yeah.
But the amount of those
Yeah.
glasses that I smashed every single one I had. Must have been 10 of them by the end. Like this
You'd be
glass here would
fucking
last
smashed. You'd be
couple of
fucking
weeks.
sad if you
It's
smashed
getting
one of those.
smashed for sure. And how do you
Sad.
fucking clean that thing?
you really have to just put in some like sodium percarbonate and just like give it a bit of a
Rinse.
let
How's
it
your father?
sit. Let it sit. How's your father? Let it sit. You know, that whole ordeal, rather than sitting there with a scrubbing brush and some detergent, I think, or put it in the dishwasher. Don't put it in the goddamn dishwasher. Just clean it classically.
You're talking
let
to
it
two
sit.
people who put their glasses in the dishwasher.
In the dishwasher.
Well, I know I can be a bit lazy at times too, but you know, I did get in trouble a few times posting beers with bubbles in them, and then I sort of had to learn the hard way what was going on before getting myself a big bucket of nappy sand, which
Well,
does the trick.
we've been fine, haven't we, Hendo? Like mine today was fine. Yours was fine. These are both dishwasher glasses, right?
Mm.
So what's happened?
Yeah. Mine's ADSI clean.
Yeah, but you've dirtied it since you cleaned it, and you've cleaned it again in your dishwasher.
Mm.
And your
Do you
bubbles
guys
have gone-
wipe your glassware
It's
out?
a different
No.
dishwasher though,
I
right?
just chuck it in the. It's the new good dishwasher.
That's probably why.
Rinse aid fucks up
Rinse
glasses.
aid, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Rinse
that
aid
is.
pits. It's that blue shit that you put in your dishwasher.
Do you? I just put the cubes in with the plastic on it.
Yeah, but you don't put rinse aid in your dishwasher.
I don't know. I've never had a dishwasher before until now. I just put the little cubes in it. And it cleans.
Yeah, we got to put the blue liquid in as well.
Well, it doesn't
Rinse
sound
aid.
like you do. It sounds like it's a bad idea to do that.
Yes, but otherwise, all your glassware and all stuff, you get all dots and shit all over your dishes and stuff.
Right. It's fucking complicated. It's barely worth
Rinse
having a
aid
dishwasher.
just helps so the water doesn't bead on the on your
It's just
stuff.
like when you drive through the car wash and you go for the cheap one, the basic wash. You don't get like the after polish and rinse and all the rest of it, and then your car sort of it's sort of clean.
Well, I rinse this off after I get it out of the dishwasher. That
helps because you just get an extra rinse. Yeah,
because it smells like detergent, which means
dishwasher powder is just sodium bicarbonate anyway. So
yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, good on you for asking yourself a question, and I don't think we answered it. Did you guys see this one? What about Beer Cartel getting people to hide beers in public for Easter? Is that true?
What?
That's right. I did see this.
What?
Great Australian Easter Beer Hunt. I don't know anything about this.
I have no idea.
This is news to me. I don't know about this one either.
So what was the idea? You go hide some beer.
I think you hide some beer, which is definitely illegal. Here's the link. Great Australian Easter Beer Hunt.
Reduced to limited.
Designed to be hidden and hunted in the same manner as this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just have the.
You're just doing it in the backyard.
Right? Yeah, have your nieces and nephews and shit. Get children out there. They can go hunting for beers in the backyard. Okay. Easter's coming up, mate. Get the boys out in the backyard hunting beers.
Yeah, all right. Contains 8 different beers.
Purchase the pack and have a trusted friend hide the beers. Find the beers by hunting them down either solo or in a team. Enjoy the beers with fellow players or by sharing the experience on social media. That's kind of cool. $65. Cheaper than a fucking glass.
That's true. You can't just hide beers though, can you?
Clearly, you're not going to do it in a public park or something like that.
It's only got 8 beers in it before you get too excited about the price.
Yeah.
I guess like if you do it in your yard, it's fine, right? But the question was, what about Beer Cartel getting people to hide beers in public for Easter? It doesn't say anything about public in this article.
It doesn't say doing it in public.
No.
It'd be fucking funny if you did, though.
So you're just doing it in the backyard?
Yeah.
Hide it behind a tree in a park and then an 11-year-old Cicerone finds it.
Right.
And he comes back with a fucking quack glass, a wooden frame. Hey, mister, I found your glass.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know. We seem to like that idea.
I'd buy one of those before I bought a fucking glass.
Smokey says, how late is safe to mow on a four-wheel drive tractor while the missus is doing yoga and drinks with her mates?
Just tell him to stay off the fucking forklift.
I reckon the rebuttal to that's depending on how many beers Smokey's had to drink, because that's the real
the Kubota. The Kubota is an amazing machine. Did you know I had a design done up for a t-shirt, a Kubota t-shirt?
Dig it out.
Yeah, I'll post it on the group. It's fucking great. I sent it to him. I said, go make this. I had my graphic designer go and do it. And it's basically their Kubota with Currumbin Valley Brewing Company written down the side. I'd wear the shit out of that. Eh?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, get some man.
Nice. Let's get him happening, Hendo.
How is a cold IPA not a lager? From Darren Gittins.
I saw a meme that was Italian Pill was the Spider-Man pointing at each other meme. And it was like Italian Pilsner, New Zealand Pilsner, India Pale Lager, and cold IPA. They're all pointing at each other.
Yeah, well, we just released a cold IPA today in can't get on my phone, but
is it in what's it called?
It's called Cold Coast.
Old Coast.
Yeah.
Heading into winter.
Old Coast.
Clever. Any good?
Yeah, I did sensory on it today. We lost a couple ago. That was the beer we lost a couple of layers of in the floods, but the rest of it survived, which is good. Yeah, it tastes really good. I don't really know I've never really drunk much of IPLs, and I couldn't tell you the difference. I don't know. This beer tastes yummy though. We did one for our Brisbane birthday, and it's a sort of a similar recipe to that.
Yeah.
But it's an exclusive beer we did for Dan Murphy's and BWS. So we've got that one, and then we've got an exclusive one for the Indies coming out next week.
Excellent.
Which is really yummy. Yeah.
Nice.
So
yeah,
another cold IPA.
I don't know how it's not a lager either. I don't know. It kind of is a lager, right? I don't know.
Kind of.
It's a hoppy lager.
Is it?
I don't know.
I'm leaving this to the experts. I mean,
That's right. I'm not. You're the only one here who knows how to make beer, Hendo.
And no, you're here to answer these questions.
Well, it's like it's. So I made a cold IPA with Matty Cuthbert, which
Rebel
was
Brewing beer, birthday beer.
Yeah, which was the Rebel, the Phoenix
Twice
dry hopped, and so the premise around cold IPA is that it's a melange of three styles, right? So the malt base is like a American light lager, so Pilsner malt and some corn as an adjunct. It's hopped like a West Coast IPA, and it's fermented like a steam beer. So lager fermented at ale temperatures.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah. Oh, what I made with Matty turned out bloody great.
Yeah,
it was phenomenal. It was my second favorite beer I made of the year, and it was just mouth-watering. You just drank it and just salivates. That's fucking good.
Right, that definitely didn't answer the question, but it answered it better than we could answer it.
Yeah. Oh, that's the information people want. Is it delicious? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but why is it not a lager?
Maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't.
Well, is it not a lager because it's got too many hops, or it's because it's fermented at ale temperatures?
Maybe.
Bit of both. You don't want to answer this fucking question, do you? You're just being obnoxious now.
Sometimes I think Hendo he's keeping everyone guessing. He doesn't want to give away all the secrets.
I know he has an answer for the question, but he just doesn't feel like giving it. He doesn't feel like it.
I think I answered it pretty well. I think it's a melange of three styles. And
yeah.
If someone wants to call it a cold IPA, cool. I get it. Some people go, yes, it's fermented with lager yeast, therefore it's a lager. Yeah, cool. Some brewers would say, well, the temperatures more mimic an ale fermentation, therefore it should be an ale.
So an IPL would be the same beer fermented at lager temperatures.
Lager temperatures, yeah.
Okay, so it is different.
It is different, definitely different.
Fuck,
and you're going to get different like pulling teeth.
We got the answer eventually. It took 20 minutes. It's like the fucking Lexicon conversation. All right. We didn't talk about groups at all again.
Well, yeah.
We're just going to have to fucking get you back again, Perko.
I know.
We did record the episode, though. So that's good.
I did make the joke that we probably didn't even need any topics to talk about. We could have talked for a couple of hours. So it's one of those things. If we end knowing that we've got more to cover, then you can always pick up where we left off next time. So
that's
true. Yeah.
All right. And I also did the whole episode without Elon trying to
humping you. He's just humping the floor instead. He looks totally relaxed.
Yeah. He's yawning, Dan. I reckon that's a sign.
That's a sign. We're going to wrap this up.
We're going to wrap it up.
All right.
All right, legends.
Thanks for coming on, Perko.
Thanks, Perko.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. And
it's always good fun to have you on, mate.
It sounds almost as if I'm like the occasional addition to the podcast. I'm happy to chime in whenever you guys want to have me and catch up on some goss. So
thanks, mate.
Easy come, easy go.
You're a third
wheel.
Third wheel. Third wheel. It's not very fair.
No, I'm just. Hey, I called it. So Anyway,
All right,
guys.
Awesome.
We'll
Thank
catch
you
you.
very much.
Catch you
Legends.
next week.
See you soon.
Later.
Yeah. Go. Bye.